You know how it is. A game drops, the studio says, this is our biggest one yet, and you're hyped. That was Starfield. Massive map, space travel, your ship, all the promise. But from inside the studio, someone spoke up. Designer Bruce Nesmith said the game isn't in the same caliber as the big ones like Fallout or Skyrim. And the enemy design is another weak spot. For a space game, you expect aliens, unique threats, weird creatures. Instead, Nesmith noted the biggest enemies are humans. The aliens are just there, like background noise. You travel galaxies, you fight the same folks on planet Earth. That disconnect kind of kills immersion. But what could have fixed it? Fewer planets, but each with personality instead of 1,000 generic worlds. How about 10 worlds built so good, like you actually remember them? Enemies tied to environments, stories attached to places. That would have made exploration much more meaningful. But there's a bit of irony here. The studio's strength was handcrafted worlds. Now they went all in on build everything, large scale tech, less crafted content. The machines did the heavy lifting, but the heart got missing. When the devs admit the issue publicly, the message is loud. They know it didn't click like it should have. Legacy matters, but Bethesda built Skyrim, Fallout. Players expect that level of magic. When Nesmith said if the same game has been released by not Bethesda, it would have been received differently. He's not excusing performance, he's pointing out how big the shadow was. The bigger the name, the bigger they fall. Now if you're thinking of hopping back into Starfield now, just go ahead and do it just for realistic expectations. You'll find fun mechanics, cool ship moments, and some unique discoveries, but don't go in expecting a flawless masterclass. If you treat it as a solid game with flaws, you won't be let down. Big open world games are like trendy, so everyone wants a bigger map, fuller roster, more freedom, but loose freedom without structure makes everything feel flat. When Starfield made endless worlds but forgot to make them all worth exploring, you saw the cost. Scale needs story. Without it, size just hides emptiness. As someone who spent a couple hours in Starfield, I'll say this. I love building the ship, gliding through space, landing somewhere new, but after a while the thrill faded when the content didn't change. The setting promised infinite discovery but gave repetitive loops. That gap between promise and delivery is where the game struggled. If I were advising Bethesda, I'd say tie your worlds to stories that matter. Make exploration about finding something real, not just scanning. Where you go should feel unique. Combat and story should make sense for the setting, not feel half-made. And when everything lines up, exploration stops being a feeling and starts being an experience. The game might be remembered as a mission overdone. That doesn't mean it wasn't fun, it just means you had to dig for the moments. When you find one, a story quest, a place that sticks, you'll remember it, but you'll also remember all the places that look the same. That duality defines Starfield. At the end of the day, Starfield's not the worst game ever, it just missed the magic that made people fall in love with Bethesda in the first place. The hype said Skyrim in space, but the delivery felt more like a tech demo that forgot the heart. It's wild seeing a studio this massive admit they might have stretched too far, but that honestly means they could still bounce back. If they learn from this, tighten up the world design, and go back to crafting story that actually stick, Bethesda might remind everyone why they were once untouchable. Until then, Starfield's that one game you fire up when you want to mess with ships and space fight for a few hours, not when you want an RPG that a little rent free in your head. But let me know what you guys think. Did you guys stick around and play Starfield for a long time? How many hours do you have on Starfield? Do you feel like it's a good game? What they could add, what they shouldn't add, you know, stuff like that. But it's your boy Memories. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you boys next time. Peace.